Welcome to a new Daily Top Askreddit video. Today's topic.
What's the wildest non-sexual activity you've done nude? I was a teen, family was out for the evening, and I was wanting to play some Xbox Connect. One of the dancing games I think. I was fully naked, because why not, no one was home and it was warm down in Texas, and I started dancing, playing the game. When the song was over it quickly showed a hyperlapse of me fully nude dancing on the TV screen. The game was asking if I wanted to save the recording. I freaked out and quickly powered off the game. I had not played that particular game prior, and never played it again. Lessons learned: don't go dancing naked in front of a camera. I'm sorry, that's hilarious. Important note: if able, turn off security cameras before naked pool swimming. Did get a nice thumbs up from my wife in England right after. Lost a bet and fried bacon nude. Got to be careful with that. It was a very real life lesson I learned decades ago. Tears of joy. Painted my bedroom because I didn't want to mess up any clothes. Editor ad: I didn't realize how popular this was. Now I wanna get some t-shirts made that say, "Paint naked," on them. I've cleaned so many things naked for this reason alone. I feel like a big baby with clean manners. Two nuns were tasked with painting a room. They didn't want to get their clothes painted, so they decided to lock the door and paint naked. 10 minutes in, they hear a knock on the door. They look at each other, then ask, "Who is it?" "Blind man." The nuns decide they could allow him in. As he walks in, he looks at him, says, "Nice tits, where do you want these blinds installed?" Quote. Got engaged while I was 7 months pregnant, naked, and trying to clip my toenails because I bet my fiancé $5 he wouldn't propose to me that year. He said okay and grabbed a ring box from his shorts and said, "Gimme my money." Unamused face exhaling. I did give him the $5. Damn, I never even thought of getting paid for proposing to my wife. I wonder if it's too late. Walking outside in the rain. She'll make you take your clothes off and go dancing in the rain. I couldn't resist. I probably was living la vida loca, if I'm being honest. Cold sweat smile. Was tubing in Colorado. Got caught in a rapid and my tube and bikini bottoms got whipped away in the water. Was scary cause I was panicking and trying not to drown, but also completely exposed. Tears of joy. Luckily a nice lady grabbed me and put me on her tube and we found both my bottoms and tube downstream. Very lucky. Scuba diving. It's tradition in warmer climates that you do your 100th dive nude. Penn Jillette managed to fuck while scuba diving. I didn't know Teller was a scuba diver. I went through some personal trouble and was living in a group home for sober men, which I hated enough as is. It was summer and we lost power for over a week, so no AC. It was sweltering. Work was my only respite. After a few days, I had a break from work, so I got a hotel, packed up my PS5, and spent 2 full days nude gaming, only putting on clothes to get food. It just felt good to have AC on my skin, and some privacy from sharing a room for a year. Sounds like a great gift to give yourself through a challenging time in life. Hope you're doing well. Riding a horse through my friend's living room for a costumed New Year's Eve party. Went in as Lady Godiva. The horse was fine, the living room too. Party took place in a countryside farm where animals wandering into the house just happened. The only victim this nigh were my knees, as that horse was quite a chonker and barely passed through doors. Tony: nope, but glad to see someone else had the same dumb idea. That's a bold choice. Having been bullied for most of my school days, I've never had any self-confidence at all, but my current girlfriend has helped me in so many ways in these. It may not seem wild to some, but to me just walking through our house naked with the risk of being seen is quite wild. When it wasn't too long ago I hardly could see myself in a mirror, let alone let anyone else see me naked. I felt this story in my soul. I am only recently comfortable just being naked in front of my fiancé 4 years in, after several previous relationships were defined by women who constantly disparaged my body and made sure I didn't feel good enough. Unfortunately they were only finishing the work high school has provided a large head start on. Sounds like you found yourself a keeper. I'm happy for you both making progress. Swimming in the Everglades, then came an alligator. #Floridian. I hope it's not a came. Cummed would be the grammatical use. I ran naked around my backyard during an active hailstorm for $10. Worth it. $10 is $10. This was like 2007, that went a lot further then. Skinny dipping under the stars. I feel like this is a life requirement, honestly. Multiple times, not just once. Everyone needs this. Did a first date at a naturist resort. Never met before that, and he had been before, but I hadn't ever done anything it before. Was fun, not as scary as I anticipated. That's wild. Props on you for Bane. Like, yeah, okay, I'm down. Lol, thanks. I'm in my 40s, so I thought why the hell not. I probably wouldn't have in my 20s. We went swimming and played board games and dated for around 6 months. Sometimes you just need to say yes to an adventure. Naked and not afraid. Have a friend with benefits who spent the night at my house one night. Have a pool in my backyard and we decided to go swimming. Midway through she got naked and I was like, okay, I guess we're doing this. Mind you, both of my neighbors have 2-story homes. I suppose some people aren't fazed by that. If they don't want to see, they shouldn't look. How will they know if they don't want to see if they don't look? My brother told the neighbors if he and his partner are in their hot tub at night not to look out her window. The neighbor was a sweet older lady and they were like best friends, so it was always more funny than anything else. This dude's answer is swimming in his own pool. Our friend, Naked Katie, stripped every time she came over. Hot tub on top of the concrete garage, and some fences and bushes made even the elevated front porch relatively private. Lots of naked people in the hot tub, side yard and deck. Regularly. Fun era of my life. Hot tub? ? Cycling, hiking, kayaking, various sports. Nothing too crazy, but we do spend a lot of time nude outdoors. Gotta be careful biking. Lot of moving parts. Not for everyone. Dancing naked in front of a full-length mirror and admiring how much weight I had lost. Only downside, I am now banned from IKEA. IKEA got no eye for class. Being born. To be fair, that is a pretty crazy thing. I heard that there was a hypothesis that the reason we evolved to forget our early childhood was to not be traumatized by that experience. I recently watched a series about a pregnant woman and, upon closer reflection, imagined how creepy the idea actually is of being squashed inside the amniotic sac for weeks. There's more room before that, after all, barely able to move. Yet, they say that babies feel very comfortable this way and even later on like being wrapped tightly in a blanket because they feel safe and secure. The truth is we are born a trimester early due to our large heads. It's why we are completely useless for the first 3 months of our lives, unlike every other mammal who are walking, running, climbing sometimes within minutes of being born. The entirety of the shenanigans that are boot camp. What kind of shenanigans? 80 naked dudes standing, nut to butt, in single file line for showers. One slips and it's like a dominoes effect of hot dogs in buns. Die screaming like a pterodactyl at someone for shaving their pubes. Someone literally shitting on all of their personal belongings at check-in while changing into issued clothing. The first thing they made us do when we got to our training unit in basic training was a shower drill. Open bay shower with 14 heads and took us through washing our bodies. I'm not sure if it'd really be considered wild, but me and my GF at the time were fully clothed just chilling. It started to pour down rain and we both just kinda looked at each other with the same cheeky grin. We tore our clothes off and ran outside. Danced and laughed with complete abandon. One of the purest moments of joy I've ever experienced. Definitely a memory I revisit frequently. Ah yes, I remember that. Unfortunately I couldn't see you clearly with the rain dripping down my binoculars. Raren, as do your neighbors. Sauna with my wife and her friends, followed by jumping through a hole in the ice of a frozen lake. I think that trumped just being naked in deep wilderness while camping, canoeing, and swimming in a lake. Naked sauna and then snow. Nice. Or as Finns and Russians would call it, Saturday. Sound like a cool bunch of people. Sounds like a Finnish bunch of people. On a dare in high school spent about an hour as the only one naked with my boyfriend and 3 of his guy friends. They all had swimsuits and I didn't, and the pool guy's parents were out of town for a wedding. They didn't expect me to actually do it, and my boyfriend didn't want me to see his buddy's junk, so it was just me naked. It was far more enjoyable than I would have ever expected. Scary, then sexy, then silly, kind of became my thing to flash them for a while after that. I would have easily done it again if asked and if the opportunity had ever presented itself. Honestly, I missed that part of our relationship more than I missed my boyfriend when we broke up. A good sign that the breakup was the right thing. Was your boyfriend self-conscious about his body? The way he drew boundaries seems unusual to me. He was okay with your buddies seeing you naked, but not the reverse. That's unusual. One is a brag, the other is competition. Not directly me, but I hosted an end of the world party for the Mayan apocalypse in 2012. Rule was to dress like you'd want to be dressed if the world ended. My friend, our male model, asked if he could come naked and I said sure, why not? So we had about 120 to 150 people plus one naked guy. He'd enter a room, then all the women would slowly filter in and most of the men would quickly leave. I had my iPhone in my front suit pocket streaming the video feed to all the TVs in the house and would replay people's reactions. There were many, I swear I didn't look, moments proven wrong. Some shock, some confusion, some just played it cool. Because it was December, he eventually asked if I had anything that could help keep warm. Being the Red Hot Chili Peppers fan that I am, I gave him a tube sock, which he wore the rest of the party. BUI male models. We had someone from the Hooters calendar for that year there too, but I didn't know she was there until after the party. The male model is my friend, who just happened to be a model who did nude photo shoots. This is not exactly something I would describe as wild, but it was unforgettable, fun, relaxing and one with the universe type of thing. Swimming in a lake with friends from uni late at night, all the stars shining brightly above our heads while singing a hymn. Otherwise just silence and darkness around us. One time the toilet flooded in our apt, and there was feces along with other things people flushed everywhere. I'm a dude and was living with 2 females. This was around 20 years ago, when we were all broke, so getting a plumber, cleanup crew was out of our budget. We decided it was only fair that we all unclogged and cleaned it together, even though I knew it 100% their fault. We initially started cleaning in our underwear, then realized it was just going to make things more difficult. We started by taking shifts, but that didn't work because the tub shower was at the far end of the bathroom, so even if you cleaned off, you'd get soiled trying to get out of there, and track feces into the kitchen. It took about 2 hours, all 3 of us working together in the nude. The worst part was that when someone started gagging and puking, it would trigger the other 2 and it just made things more difficult. It was one of the most disgusting 2 hours of my life, and even though the 2 of them are attractive ladies, it was very much not sexy at all. This is the most disgusting thing I have read. You must not be on Reddit much. And honestly, good for you.